On our way to the Guatemalan border, we stopped at a little hotel because it was dark and we wanted to cross the border in the morning. And we met another adventure rider who's riding in a F800 GS, and he had just gotten rejected from the border.
Yeah, apparently they have a booklet that shows what titles and driver's licenses look like from every state, and because his was just a possessory title, they wouldn't let him in. It didn't look like the official title from his state. So luckily, even though our title was fake, it looked like the real California title, so we were still hoping we could get through. But you have to check out of Mexico and then check into Guatemala, and if you get denied, you have to buy your way back into Mexico, which means buying another temporary vehicle import document. Yeah. So we were concerned a little bit.
The officer handed me a declaration that I needed to hand copy. Then he gave me my deposit back, despite not having any of my original paperwork.
Which was surprising, because they also said that it would only go back onto the credit card number that you had, but her card had been canceled since it was stolen, so we had to ask them to put it onto mine, and surprisingly they were completely fine with that, and a few days later the refund showed up. We went to a very small border crossing people had recommended to us, Ciudad Cuauhtémoc on the Mexican side. Most borders, people say, are covered in everyone trying to sell you everything and help you with the border crossing. This one only had a strange vagrant girl who would hug you to death. She was like literally chasing me around trying to hug me. And the first time she hugged me, I was just like, okay, she's kind of mentally ill and hugs are nice. And then I felt her fondling my backpack when she hugged me again the second time, so she's just clever. Watch out for that one.
The most difficult aspect of doing this border crossing was actually exiting Mexico. I had to get a new tourist card in La Paz prior to crossing on the ferry to mainland, and they had given me the new tourist card. I had to pay the $25 again back when I was in Baja to get on the ferry, and I had the tourist card still, and I handed it over to them to exit Mexico to get my exit stamp at the immigration office, and they totally refused to stamp my passport.
And they wanted her to pay $25 for a third time.
And I refused for about 3 hours. I told them that I was going to stand outside of their office until they stamped my passport, and that was it.
The tourist cards you're supposed to pay when exiting, but a lot of people pay when entering the country, and if you do pay when entering the country, you need to have your receipt stapled to it and keep it with it at all times. Take a photo of it, scan it, and email it to yourself in case you have to prove that you have it later.
Eventually, when their boss came in, he argued with me for an extended period of time, and then he finally asked me what type of motorcycle I have. He wanted to know what size the motor was. I told him it was a 400. He glanced outside, looked at my bike, told the woman to stamp my passport, and told me to have a good trip. And we headed on to enter Guatemala. There's multi-steps in crossing borders. There's checking the bike out, there's exiting yourself, getting the stamp on your passport to exit, and then there's checking your bike in, checking yourself in to the new country.
And fumigation. You have to fumigate before you get to check your bike in. So you have to pay for them to spray some soapy, weird-smelling water on your bike.
It probably wasn't pesticides. Didn't they get it in your face and it didn't bother you?
They accidentally sprayed me in the eyes with it and it didn't burn, so I don't think it's real.
I think it's garbage. They want your $2.
Just give them your $2. But you gotta pay for all that, even if Guatemala turns you down. So we got to the office, they checked all my paperwork, stamped me in, start going through Andrea's title passes with flying colors, registration, which was also fake, fine. And then the driver's license was literally just a double-sided color copy laminated, like really bad fake. And he just sort of like, this is a copy. She said, yeah, my stuff was stolen. He thought about it for a little while and then stamped her in too, and we continued on our way. So we only got charged 12 quetzales each for fumigation, not the 18 that it said when I looked it up online. But it said it was 35 quetzales each for vehicle entry, and they presented us with a receipt that said 160 quetzales.
Got gouged.
And there's no way to really argue with it. It's a very official-looking receipt. I still have it. I took a photo of it. I took a photo of them. No one seemed to care, so I think that the rate has just increased.
It's $20 versus, like, a few. It's a lot more.
But we were just happy that they let us in. You read through this crazy market and then emerged into an incredible landscape of volcanic-looking mountainsides covered in lush green trees.